Welcome to Thursday Reviews. Today we have an Arctic King portable air conditioner to review. Here it is. To me it looks like something right out of a Star Trek episode. Here's the sticker on the side that has some important information like the model number, the BTUs, refrigerant type, and more. Let's look at the screen. There are some LEDs for the mode. If I power it up, you'll see them light up. The auto mode adjusts the fan speed based on the temperature. The cool mode is the general cooling mode. You can set the temperature and fan speed. During normal use, the cooling cycle is about 5 minutes of cooling before switching off again. This way the room cools off more gradually. The cool thing is, cool. If the temperature is just too high, then it will go continuous. Also, every time it's about to start cooling, you can actually hear the exhaust fan click on. The dry mode is meant for dehumidification and not much for cooling. You'll have to connect a hose separately to drain the water it collects. The fan mode runs the fan only, no cooling. This temp sensing thing is for the remote. I guess I forgot to mention that. The air conditioner will cool based on the remote temperature instead of whatever you set. The fan has 3 speeds and an auto mode when nothing is lit up. Also note that this unit does not do heat, but you can get ones that do. This button turns on the timer. You can set the amount of hours until the unit turns on or off with the timer on and timer off modes. The sleep mode keeps the settings the same, but after a while will raise the temperature to keep a more comfortable sleeping environment. There is also a swing button to allow the vents to move up and down continuously to move air in the room better, similar to an oscillating fan but vertically. There is also a way to show the temperature in degrees Celsius. If you hold the up and down buttons, it changes it to Celsius. Many air conditioners will actually do that if they have a screen. The remote allows you to do the same thing. While we're looking at the remote, I suppose I should go over a few things that you can only do with the remote. The timers work a bit differently, and you do get a clock, which is not very accurate. I've never adjusted the time on it, and it's like over 20 minutes fast. You can also turn the LEDs on and off with this button. One more thing with the remote is something I don't really like. If the remote is powered off but the unit is on, the remote doesn't do anything. You have to make sure this symbol is in the upper right corner. By the way, the remote is just powered by 2 AAA batteries. I will now show you what each fan speed sounds like and what it sounds like when the exhaust fan clicks on and off. Here's low. Medium. A little louder. High. A little louder. Not too bad. And here's the exhaust fan. So let's find out what I like about it. The first thing is that it is feature-filled. You can do just about anything you want to on this. Not only do you have the multiple fan speeds, but you have multiple cooling options, a swing mode, timers, all that stuff. Anything you ever need on an air conditioner and more. I also like the fact that it has a remote and that you can control some of the settings on the remote, and it just makes it a lot more convenient. Like, oh, I'm just going to pick up this remote and do everything right now. Put it back down again, and I'm done. Also, it's good for a bedroom like this, but for very large spaces in a house, I would assume that it's okay. But if you have it like how this room is set up, where I have a window directly behind this camcorder that the hose is in, and then there's a window right here. This window gets direct sunlight for the last few hours of the day, and so if it's really hot outside, it will start to heat up this room quite a bit, but it's still able to keep it at a reasonable temperature in here. If you had it in a larger space where you're getting direct sunlight like that, it might do okay, but especially like if it's near a kitchen or anything, it's gonna almost inevitably get hotter because of the fact that it's by a kitchen. But just kind of be mindful of where you're placing it, and if there's direct sunlight coming in, expect the really hot days to kind of heat up your house a few degrees more. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's a portable AC unit, and it does good for that. I also just like the way it looks. It looks quite a bit more futuristic than most portable AC units, or any AC units in general. When I first saw this thing, I was like, this thing looks cool. So now let's go over the cons. The first thing is that it is really heavy, unbelievably heavy. Once you get this thing set up in your window, you do not want to get it back out, because you're not going to have fun carrying that thing down steps. Like, we have a couple steps outside where our deck is and all that it is not fun to carry those down there and into our garage. Now, this only might be a con for some people, and it depends on where you live in the world, but there is no heat setting on this. You can buy units that do have it, but this one does not. Arctic King does make units with heat, so that would be something worth noting, and something worth searching up on Google or whatever you want to do for where to get ones with heat, if that's what you need. Also, I think the exhaust fan is a bit noisy. It just kind of a sudden change of events when you're going from the normal fan speed, and then all of a sudden that exhaust fan ramps up and then starts cooling, and then it clicks back off again after it's done cooling. It's just kind of a unusual thing. I know that most of them have an exhaust fan, but they're usually much quieter, or they're always running, or whatever. This one, I guess it's for energy saving or whatever. It's just kind of unique, kind of weird. Not really too much of a con, but I could see how it could be kind of like, what? Why is it doing that? When you first buy it and you didn't know it did that. But you get used to it. Also, I don't like how the remote behaves badly when it's off. Like, if you don't have the power switched on, if that little symbol in the corner does not show, then good luck doing anything. It'll look like it's not connecting with the air conditioner at all. It just looks like you're pushing buttons just for the fun of it. It does nothing until you first push the power button on the remote and then do everything. Also, the hose in the back does not like to stay on. So as you can see here, we have duct taped this to the moon and beyond so that it can stay in there on both ends where it connects to the unit and where it connects to the window. When I first installed this in my room last year, the hose did not have that much duct tape on it, and it randomly came off one day and I didn't know it, and I was wondering why my room was getting so warm. It's just because it was cooling the room, and then the exhaust fan was pumping the hot air back into my room because the hose was disconnected. So it was doing nothing but making it worse. So yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it still works, and knock on wood, which we have plenty of in this house, it has not come off yet. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Thursday Reviews. I guess I'll see you soon.